How many people say, I do not believe in God? Fine. Don't believe in God, or you believe there is a connection somehow, an invisible connection, invisible liaison. Well, okay, so you call it intelligence. You don't have to name a word that you don't like, so call it intelligence. You believe there is a connection, there is an intelligence that has programmed our lives, so to speak. And then the person usually quiets down or says, yes, yeah, all right. I say, and I repeat, I've said this many times, and I have to remember this sentence when I am not in my best moment. This is a very important sentence. It has been proven in my life that our lives, your life, is beautifully orchestrated. You may not realize it now, but you wait and see. Everything, every event comes from a oneness. And everything here is a symbol of that oneness. Or look, for instance, look at the famous ballet, Sleeping Beauty, Swan Lake. You know, they're 2-3 hours ballets, very famous. People go here in New York City, go to Lincoln Center, they go to Moscow to the Bolshoi Ballet there, whatever, and to see what? To see something extraordinary for 2 or 3 hours, based on one single page, with, I would say, maybe 300, 500 words. All right, let's go to 500 words. I didn't count the words. I have them here. They come from a fable, a little story, one simple page. And from that one small, simple page of a simple story came beautiful music. A mind expanded it and wrote music. Another mind expanded it and made a ballet. And another mind learns how to dance. From one simple page of paper. And I think my friend did the same. One of those stories somewhere had something very important that helped her mother. Helped her to start moving and to start talking and to start appreciating life again, I guess. So, is my friend a miracle worker? Yes, so are you. So are you. Don't let words impress you or put you off, because it can be either way. Or you may right now be sitting with someone who understands and accepts what I'm saying, but you may be with another person who says, forget it. There's no such thing as beyond space and time communication. There's no such thing as miracles. There's no such thing as even a higher intelligence. There's no such thing as God. That's where that person is. That person is at that stage, at that time in their lives. At that stage. That's what I meant to say. So friends, this is why at the beginning I said it is very important that I get feedback. Because as she told me what happened, I immediately felt the relationship between what she was telling me and what I wanted to say in one of these talks. Yes, there are all kinds of touching. But we are not touching alone. And as we know, you look at history, you can think of the example of Jesus, for instance, the man, Jesus Christ. As a man, while he was on earth, he touched many. He healed many. Some he touched, some was absent healing. And I'm not even talking about today, because today he's not here on earth and many people claim to be healed by Jesus. Now, I'm not saying that my friend is Jesus. What I'm saying is the process is the same. We somehow get in touch with some thought system that we all share. And that thought system can help us all heal. And I say, all of us, even if you do not believe in a higher, so-called higher intelligence, you do not have to believe. How many people have been healed without believing? And then they start to believe, or they may not. They can always say, well, was that medication? It does not matter. What matters is that the mission was accomplished. And we all have a mission here on earth. That mission is to forgive and to remember love, which we all have forgotten. So you see, to forgive, you don't have to go to someone and, that you think has hurt you and in person, be in person with that person to correct the problem. Forgiveness can be done and must be done beyond space and time, in a way that we do not even comprehend. Loving thoughts are very often forgotten, and they have to be remembered. We just have to be willing to remember them, and they will be remembered. And of course there are all kinds of skepticals, friends. I once met a psychiatrist. I told him I was writing this book. You Can Remember Love is the title. And he looked at me and said, of course not. You. No one can remember love. I said, thank God I don't need a doctor like you. I hope he has recovered by now. At that time he was very disappointed with his second or third divorce. So I guess he did not want to remember love. It's a choice. Now, we can all touch somebody. And there are different ways of touching people. Which reminds me, if you want to touch somebody, don't worry. Don't worry if they are alive. They may even be dead. You can still touch them. Write them a letter. Are they very far away? Does not matter. Are they close to you? Go ahead. Take the train or whatever and go and see them. We are all in need of being touched. Which reminds me, how did I touch my father? How was my father touched by me? How was I touched by him? And I used to visit him in the nursing home, where he was for something like 4 years. I think one of the best times between me and my father was when he was in the nursing home, although I have very good other memories too. How do you think I touched him? Playing domino, those little rectangle stones, pieces, playing domino, sometimes 2, 3.5 hours. He was delighted, so was I. I used to forget everything. Used to think, my goodness, this is like meditation. He loved it. He was so touched. He was so happy. All right? At the nursing home, the same nursing home, I have another episode with a woman there. I have several. But my father was in the men's session, the other side was the women's session, and this section. And this particular woman was, she had lost her speech. She was not paralyzed, but she had lost her speech. And to make things worse, she could not read or write. So dear friends, if otherwise I could have communicated with her, I could have written to her every time I was there, at least she did not know me. At that time we started kind of liking each other. How do we think we communicated? I would hold her hand. She would just kiss my hand. It was so sweet, and we would embrace, and she would say, ba, ba, ba. Like she was trying to say, so are you back here? Are you back here? Ba, ba. Are you back here? And they say, yes, yes. You know, my father was in Portugal and I was here, so visit him as often as I could. So anyhow, I was so touched by her touch that I miss seeing this woman. I'll probably go back to the nursing home to see her and a few others, because there are extraordinary lives and episodes in this environment. The children don't go and see the parents that much. Some of them, they do not show up at all, okay? So that is another story. Talking about touching, dear friends, let me ask you again, did you touch anyone today? And I'm about to say good night, and to remind you to please give me some feedback. And see you next week. Bye. Bye. Be happy and be at peace.